Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. So here we have our huge dump that I watched last night, and I was bewildered. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was searching all over the internet to try to find some sort of news. Couldn't find it. It wasn't till many hours later I was listening to someone, and they just nonchalantly mentioned that we came down and filled the CME futures gap that we had left, this gap right here that we had left on Monday and or Tuesday, Monday, Friday to Tuesday, whatever, over the weekend. And I said, "Oh yes." Now, because I rarely look at the CME futures chart, I'm looking at the spot chart. So yes, that's what happened, and we came down and filled it perfectly, and then a little bit more. Now, this is a very bullish signal to me because, well, first of all, you should know how I feel about gaps. It's a bunch of BS. It's some sort of like a urban legend. We gotta go down and fill these gaps. That's not the right terminology, but whatever. Um, but I pointed out in the previous video that there's many gaps that we've left in the past, and they stay unfilled for many months and even years, year and a half, until the normal price action just happens to fill them with the fluctuation of the market. But guarantee you, if we are anywhere near one of these gaps, chances are it'll probably get filled just because people have it in their heads that that's what they need to do, and the bulls or the bears, whichever, depending on which way the market is going, will force price action in that way, in that direction to fill it. So we came and did that. Now, the reason that's bullish, in my opinion, because now we don't have to talk about it. Once we get up to 30,000, 36,000 up here, we don't have to hear people talk about, oh, we got to come down to, we're going to have this big dump. It's going to come down and fill this gap. We left at 27,000. Yeah, we're not going to hear that. We're not going to hear any of that for the next several months. So that's bullish, in my opinion, telling me we are going to keep going up here. I do believe that we are going to see a big, huge move and a correction, and it just uh, is natural because, well, it falls in line with what we um, have predicted with the Gaussian channels and coming back down and testing support levels. Anyway, um, but what here we are on our 5 minute chart, and what we did do is we came down. Besides closing the gap right here, we came down and retested our line of support. Now, how significant is this line of support? Well, here you go. It's this orange line here where we are at right here currently. And this has been a level of support here, here, and back here in March. We had a lot of price action around it here, and more support here in February, January. It's been a major level of support all the way back. Now, so what we're continuing to do and what we've been continuing to do for the past couple months is trade sideways. Everybody knows that, and the Bitcoin worst case scenario is playing out, which I posted a video on May 1st. I thought this is back when we thought, we're going to keep going up or keep going up. And I said, how could we test this 25,300 800 level for support. And the only way we could test that, whoops, I accidentally started playing it. The only way we could test that and still maintain our bullish narrative would be to trade into the Gaussian channel here for the next month or so and just bore the hell out of everybody and flush all the weekends out of the market and just cause capitulation that way. And sure enough, that is what we are doing here. Where am I? Here. That scenario has played out, and that's what we've been doing for the past month and a half, just trading in between the mean band and the upper band of the weekly Gaussian channel. Um, Now we've gone over this. We've gone over this scenario in videos past, and what we've done at previous bottoms is gone up through the Gaussian channel, retested here, and then continued on. Once we break out through the top of this Gaussian channel, we're going to see big moves. We've thoroughly tested the mean band for the past month and a half and have been able to maintain that as support. We are trading in this parallel channel, bull flag channel, for the past month and a half and consolidating into well, let's find what we're looking for. Yeah, probably this one. Really what we're doing and what we've done since our last FOMC meeting and CPI number releases, we are trading sideways into each successive CPI and FOMC meeting stuff because for some reason that is very, very influential on the markets. And although we know what's going to happen, inflation is going to continue to be sticky and slowly decrease, and Powell's probably not going to raise rates, or if they do, maybe 25%. But that's all coming to an end. Inflation's slowly going downwards, or not going up anyway. But everybody's real concerned about what's going to happen here. Nobody cares about the debt ceiling. Everybody wants to talk about that. That's a non-issue as far as I'm concerned because I'm an old guy and I've seen many, many debt ceiling crises, and it always plays out the same. We threaten, everybody, whichever side is in power, threatens not to raise it and uses it to negotiate, and then of course we always just raise it. So we've been consolidating in various triangles. Once we get to the end of them, we bust out upward, bust down below, widening the triangle, creating a larger triangle or a longer triangle to consolidate in. Here we did. Let's open this up a little bit. Back here, I was saying that we were going to move up into this area and then continue onward and upward from there, which we eventually did a couple days later, consolidated here and continued onward and upward. But I did note that we needed to break through this parallel, the top of this parallel channel, in order to remain with a bullish outlook in the near term. And we did not do that. We stopped short of it. And so this red line here is the neckline of this head and shoulders pattern that a lot of people were talking about. Back here, you have your shoulder, you have your head, you have your other shoulder. This is the neckline of that pattern. And it has failed to play out to the downside and failed to fail to the upside. So we are still testing that. We've tested that a long time. And I said we were going to do that. We were going to test And we thoroughly spent, before our dump last night, much time around this area. And then eventually dump back here. So, what's next? What's next? Uh, Further consolidation in between the top of our parallel channel, this white line, and this orange band, and probably sticking around the neckline here, and possibly this purple line, which is the base of our upwards parallel channel that we've been trading in since the FTX collapse in November. If I zoom way out, I have to go to a different chart. You can see that here. Which, by the way, October was the bottom of the market. I want to point this out because we should have continued onward and upwards from here. It was the bottom of all the markets, and I'll point that out in a second. But because I was talking about it back here, everything was signaling that we were going to bust out here. We were on the verge of a breakout, and then FTX collapse happened and caused this whole dumpage here. And then you can see we continued onward and upward from there. And let's see if I do have my other channel here. I do. Okay, good. This was another chart I was using. This is the channel we were trading in there. And we should have continued onward and upward here. FTX collapse. Boom. And then we came back, and we are currently trading in another channel completely parallel to the previous one we had been in, which is very, very interesting. And even right here, we came back into that channel and traded between the center line and the base of that channel, which is really, really funny. I came back to this chart because my other one had so many lines on it I couldn't see anymore. And this I drew this back in October, 7 or 8 months ago. 8 months ago, because yeah. So that's that. It just shows you why I leave the lines on my charts in the first place, because I had forgotten all about this. It's really interesting, and they do come back into play later on. So essentially here, and why I did go to this chart, because it shows clear what we're doing. We are trading in a parallel channel this way, upwards like this. This is just a shorter version of the larger purple channel that we've been trading in since November. I mean, a more condensed version, narrower version. So here's this upward channel that we're trading in. And here's the bull flag parallel channel that we're consolidating in up to the FOMC and CPI number releases. Also the Hinman documents. This is the 13th and 14th of June. A lot of stuff going on. Tomorrow is Hong Kong opening up for trading, retail trading. I'm surprised that's not a bigger deal. And the only thing I can think of is why. I just wonder if when trading was halted in Hong Kong, and I haven't had a chance to research that, but possibly did people get stuck with coins that they couldn't get rid of? Maybe we're going to have a dump tomorrow. I don't know. I don't want to put any FUD out there, because I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to have a nice rally starting tomorrow. Anyway, so what we're seeing here is a reversal pattern. So we had this head and shoulders pattern, kind of what people are saying. It's a head and shoulders pattern. It is, I guess, whatever. But it's really just getting us into this parallel consolidation channel. Now, what signals to me is that we're getting ready to break out here from this channel and move on, continue upward, is that we're seeing a reversal trend here with a double bottom right here. Oh, you know what? I don't have my little hand right here. My little arrow. Wait, what am I doing? Let me get my arrow. We have a double bottom here and kind of an inverse head and shoulders pattern. The shoulder there, a head here, and we're forming the last shoulder right now. So if we break either this line or this line, anyway, looking for a breakout in this range. I'm looking for an imminent parabolic breakout. I mean, we're just on the verge of a reversal back up to about 36,000, I think. Where is that? At least to 35 and a half right here, and possibly further. And let's go back and see. Here's our weekly Gaussian channel. That's what has happened in the bottom. As soon as we break out here, we go up. There's 38,000 right there. This green arrow I have here, I don't know. I don't remember what that's from. I wanted to get a quick video out explaining what was going on, and I haven't thoroughly researched, gone over all the various lines I have. There's my green arrow. Is that right? You go on a 4-hour chart. I don't know why the. Okay, there we are. Maybe. You know what? I have different visibility under. Anyway, this green arrow is this green arrow, and it was from a larger triangle we had been forming, the base of which has gone away. And that point right there is about 37,000. Anyway, we're looking for a breakout any day, sometime in the next couple weeks. But okay, the other thing I wanted to point out, let me go to a 2-day chart. Where's my 2-day chart? Here we go. The other thing I wanted to point out is that, and I pointed this out on a previous video, is that heading into these vertical lines, blue ones are CPI number releases, yellow ones are PPI number releases, purple ones are FOMC meetings. And heading into, get my arrow, heading into CPI number releases, we've always pumped, 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 pumped in the week leading into them. This is a 2-day chart, and afterwards we've pumped, pumped, pumped at least a few days into them and throughout them. With the exception of the last one here in May. And that's, I think, because the FOMC meeting came before the CPI number releases and kind of tainted everything. Kind of left uncertainty in the market, which is why we're consolidating here into the next CPI FOMC meeting extravaganza. So that's where we're at. I imagine more sideways here, but could break out any day upwards, possibly even tomorrow with Hong Kong reopening. I'm looking for a parabolic breakout, and when we do, it'll be fast, like this one here and like this one here. Within a week, we'll be back up at the top of this channel, or maybe even further. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel, sign up, hit the notification bell, do all that stuff everybody tells you to do, and I will see you next time. Thanks.